Okay guys, quick review. If you can do these 6, you can do everything on the quiz. So if you have questions, talk to someone around you that knows what they're doing and they can help you out. This first one, you're writing the equation of a parabola, and you're going to write it in vertex form because you have the vertex. So this will be your h and your k. This will be your x and your y. So you're going to go y equals, we don't know our a yet. It's going to be x minus your h value, so minus a negative would be plus 3 squared, plus your k value. So plus 12 is your basic setup, and then we're going to plug in the x and the y. So you would plug in 0 equals a times negative 1 plus 3 squared plus 12. So this is 2 squared is 4, so 4a plus 12 equals 0. Take away your 12 and then divide by 4. So a is negative 3. So now you're just taking that negative 3 and you're dropping it into that original equation you wrote as your a value. So it's going to be y equals negative 3 times x plus 3 squared plus 12. And that will be your answer. Okay. Number 2, it's talking about the Gateway Arch in St. Louis, and it says the tallest monument in the U.S. arch can be modeled with this function. X and y are both going to be in feet, so it says how high above the ground is the tallest point, and how far apart are the legs of the arch at their bases. Oh, there was a picture for this. Just kidding, no picture. Instead, it's saying how high above the ground is the tallest point. So basically they're saying, what's your maximum, right? And how high above the ground, that's your height. That's going to be this y value. So you're looking for your y, okay? But you have to start, we're not going to do this part of it. You have to start with x equals negative b over 2a. So it's going to be x equals, a negative b is a negative 4 over 2 times a negative 0.00635. Don't forget your parentheses here. You have to add that second one. Okay. Technically, you don't need to finish it off, but you do need to start it on that. So plug in negative 4 divided by parentheses 2 parentheses that negative there, and you should get this number. X equals 314.961 would be our rounded version to 3 decimal places. Okay. We want to know how high the tallest point is, so that's your y value. So we're going to just plug that in. So it's a negative 0.00635 times 314.961 squared plus 4 times 314.961. So plug that into your calculator real quick, see if you get the same thing as me. That comes out to this, 629.921. Excuse me, so how high above the ground, your y value, we could say is approximately 630 feet if we just round it. I'll tell you where to round on your quiz, so don't worry about that. 3 and 4, these are the graphing ones. One's in vertex form and one is in standard form. So vertex form, you find your vertex from your h and your k. Remember, it's the opposite of what it looks like inside and the same as what it looks like outside. So this is a positive 3 and a positive 2. Your axis of symmetry is always x equals whatever your h value was. So x equals 3. So you're going to go 1, 2, 3, like this. Plot your vertex at 3, 2. So right here. This should open down because of that negative 4, which can be your next move. So from the vertex, 1, 2, 3, 4 down, 1 to the right, and 4 down, 1 to the left. So that'll be your graph. Your y-intercept in this form is when you plug in a 0. So -4 times 0 minus 3 squared plus 2. So it's going to be 0 something. Simplify that, you get 9. So -4 times 9 plus 2. So -36 plus 2 is a -34. Your maximum value, that's always the y value. So your max would be 2. Your domain is always all real numbers. And then your range is y should be less than or equal to that same y value. Remember, this is the one where this number and this number and this number should all be the same. Okay, number 4. This one now is in standard form, and you need to find all the pieces from standard form. So you start with x equals -b over 2a. So b right now is a 2, so it's going to be a -2 over 2 times, your a value is a -1. So -2 over -2 is a +1, so your axis of symmetry is x equals 1. That looks like that. Your vertex then is 1 something. We're going to plug a 1 in, so it's the opposite. Be careful here. The 1 is not, it's not a -1 in parentheses. The negative is outside there. So the opposite of 1 squared plus 2 times 1 plus 3, you get -1 plus 2 plus 3. So that's going to be 4. So your vertex, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, is right there. Your y-intercept, you can either find just by looking at this number, 0, 3 will be your y-intercept, or you can use the slope, so down 1 over 1 and down 1 over 1. Either way, you get the same number. So that's your graph. Your maximum is your y value here, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember, it's this number. So your maximum here is 4. Your domain is all real numbers, and the range is y is less than or equal to that value. Okay. Number 5, you're going to find a vertex and then put it into vertex form. So you start with x equals -b over 2a. So a -b is -4 over 2 times 2. So -4 over 4 is a -1. So your vertex is -1 something. We got to plug that in. So it's 2 times -1 squared plus 4 times -1 plus 9. Simplify that. So -1 squared times 2 is just 2 minus 4 plus 9. So -2 plus 9 is 7. And then you just borrow that a value to put it into vertex form here. So y equals your a value, 2, times x minus -1 is x plus 1 squared, and then plus your y value, which is 7. Okay. And then the last one, this is the one that you plug into your calculator. So I'm going to plug it into my calculator, but you're not going to see it. I'm just going to talk you through it. If I were you, I would plug it into your calculator right now and make sure it's working. Excuse me. So first thing you're going to do, and I'm going to change this a little bit so it looks more like your quiz one, but you're going to click y equals and make sure there's no equation there. And if there is, clear it out. Then you're going to hit stat and edit and clear out both your lists. So clear out L2, hit clear, and then enter. Up to L1, clear, enter. And then you're going to put in those points. So 0, enter, 1, enter, 2, enter, 3, enter. Then go over to L2, 46, enter, 63, enter, 48, enter, and 1. And we're trying to find a quadratic model, but you also need to graph it. So on the quiz, I'm going to give you the little box that is your graph window. So you're going to hit zoom 9. And this one looks something like this. Okay, so I want to see that, and then I want to know your window. So hit the window button up at the top left. Your x minimum is a negative 0.3, your x max is 3.3, and then your y minimum is a negative 9.54, and your y maximum is 73.54. So now you're going to go try to find the quadratic model, the equation. So hit stat, and then arrow over to the right to calculate, and then number 5, the quad reg, and then just enter all the way through until you get to calculate, and hit enter one more time, and you get an A value of negative 16, a B value of 33, and a C value of 46. So your equation is y equals negative 16x squared plus 33x plus 46. Okay, so when they ask you for the quadratic model, that's that. And then it says estimate the height of the ball at 2.5 seconds. So 2.5 seconds, that's your time, so that's your x value. So we're going to plug in 2.5 to both of these. So negative 16 times 2.5 squared plus 33 times 2.5 plus 46. And you get 28.5. So this would be 28.5 feet in the air after 2.5 seconds. And then what is the ball's maximum height? What did I just do? Oh no, we're good. The ball's maximum height. So 28.5 is not the maximum height, right? What we found here is the height of the ball after that amount of seconds. We need to figure out the vertex. I don't make you do this part on the quiz. I make you find the maximum where the vertex is. So to find the vertex, x equals negative b over 2a. So it's going to be a negative 33 over 2 times a negative 16. So negative 33 over negative 32, which is really just a positive 33 over 32. That's this number, 1.03125. So you may treat it as a fraction or as the decimal. This is an exact decimal. So when it asks you for the maximum height, that's looking for the y value of your vertex. So this is the x of your vertex. And we would just plug that in to find the y of our vertex. So plug it in here and plug it in here. So negative 16 times 1.03125 squared plus 33 times 1.03125 plus 46. Plug that in. If you go second entry back to your other one, you can just insert it into the equation that's already there if you remember doing that. You do have to insert it, but a bunch it's probably easier just to do it the other way. 3, 1, 2, 5. And you should get 63.016. So the question asked, what's the ball's maximum height? The maximum height is this many feet in the air. So that is essentially what you're going to see on your quiz. Good luck.